Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if this is your first time. Thank you guys so much also for the feedback on my first video. I got a lot of messages and people coming up to me at work and things like that, just complimenting me on my first video, and I seriously appreciate it so much. This is the makeup look I came up with today. It's kind of a soft pinkish purple smoky eye. Kind of Valentine's Day inspired. I'm filming this on Valentine's Day. If you guys want to recreate this and tag me in it, you can tag my new Instagram, which is ambeauty93. So you can find me there on Instagram. You can also find me on my Snapchat or my Twitter. So I'm super excited to keep filming and posting for you guys. So please subscribe if you are interested in more videos, and give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And yeah, enjoy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is prime my skin. This is kind of a primer and a moisturizer, which is nice. So this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. I have dry skin in a lot of places, but also get oily in some places, so I kind of tend to target my foundation primers for that. So I'm gonna take this Glotion, and this is in the shade 901. This is the Fair. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of this in my hands. I use probably like that much. I'm just gonna put this everywhere except my nose. Mind you, my face when I rub it gets super red, so don't be like alarmed that I'm about to look crazy for a minute. So yeah, this just kind of gives a luminosity to your... I look crazy, I'm sorry. But just so you know, this is me with no makeup. And if you've never seen me with no makeup before, I apologize. So anyway, so I just rub this in and it gets a little bit tacky, which is excellent for helping your foundation really stick to your face. And then I'm gonna take this primer. This is from Makeup Forever. It's the Step 1 Blurring. No. This is the Step 1 Smoothing Primer. It's really great if you have an area that has large pores like I do on my nose. So I'll just use this only on my nose because it can tend to dry out the rest of your face a little bit if you use it all over, just in my own experience. So I take a tiny bit of that and I'll just rub this over my nose to kind of smooth out. And I took a little bit too much, so I'll put a little bit just where I get oily sometimes throughout the day. So for foundation today, I'm going in with the True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Makeup. And I have the shade N12 Neutral if you're near my shade or if you're just curious. And I'm also gonna be applying it with this very disgustingly dirty, this is the Real Techniques sponge, Miracle Complexion Sponge, I think it's called. And if you're applying foundation with a sponge, typically you wanna wet it. I just run it underneath the water and squeeze it out like 5-6 times, and then squeeze out all the extra water that you can. I'll put it like in a towel and give it an extra squeeze so it's damp, but there should not be any water coming out of it, if that makes any sense. This is my favorite way to apply foundation. So I'm just gonna take a couple pumps of that on my sponge and kind of disperse it where it needs to be. Now mind you, this looks crazy on my... Okay, side note, I am recording this on my iPhone. So if it seems like I'm looking to the side, it's because I'm actually looking at my reflection because I don't have a mirror in front of me. So I'm kind of using my reflection in the phone. I should be looking straight at you guys at the camera, but I'm still getting used to filming, so I apologize if I'm doing that a lot. Typically, I use like 2 pumps for my entire face. I just kind of feel like less is more with foundation. It has pretty good coverage, so I find I don't really need a lot. I think my arm is literally so white that it's like messing with the contrast of this video. That's sad. I need a vacation. So then once I get just one even layer, like I still have some redness coming through right here, so I'll just take like a half of a pump and do a little bit more on those areas. Also, you wanna always make sure that you get your foundation onto your ear and kind of down your neck so you don't end up looking like this is my foundation and this is my pale skin. You want it to all look cohesive, so make sure that you're blending it down. And then once I get to powder and bronzer and stuff too, I'll take those down my neck as well, just so it all just blends and looks natural. You know what I mean? I mean, it's full coverage foundation, it's not natural. So I'm gonna go in with concealer. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. And you can't see that. I have the shade Fair 5. I'll just make kind of a triangle underneath my eye like so. Both eyes. And if you are like me and you have bags for days underneath your eyes, I tend to go probably a little bit overboard with my under eye concealer because I just have a lot I need to cover up under there, and I'm trying to look like I got a little more sleep than I actually did, you know what I mean? So let me just explain what I do with this. So under the eye, obviously, to cover up any darkness or discoloration or anything under there. I also will take it on my eyelids as kind of a primer for my eyeshadow later. And then I'll just hit the high points of my face to kind of naturally highlight some areas that I want to give some dimension to. If you just do foundation, your face is gonna be a flat color and there's not gonna be any dimension. So when I go in and highlight with concealer and later when I go in and bronze the outsides of my face, it gives your face a lot of life back. So I'm just gonna buff this out with the same sponge. Okay, so now we're done with concealer, and I will get really bad creasing right here in my makeup if I don't set my makeup immediately with a powder. Typically, I'll go for either a loose powder, like a translucent powder. My new favorite has been this. This is the NYX HD Finishing Powder, and this is in their Banana shade. So it's a super pale yellow shade. It will brighten your under eyes even more, which is great when you need to look more awake. So I'm just gonna take this e.l.f. angled blush brush, and then I will just, and you wanna press it into your skin rather than swiping because we don't wanna lose the coverage that we just got with the concealer under there. So I like to really press it, and I'll kinda look up so I can really get as close to my eye as possible without, you know, stabbing it. And same with the other side. I don't know why my lighting is going nuts. And then I'll also put this on my eyelids just to set down the concealer that we're gonna use as kind of an eyeshadow base. So I'm just also gonna take this powder and just set wherever else we put the concealer as well. And then I'm just gonna take a bigger, fluffier brush, like this one. This one I got at Walmart. It's the Royal and Langnickel Multi-Purpose Powder Brush, if anyone's curious. This is cute purple color. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl that in the powder and just really lightly dust this all over the rest of my face, just so that it's set down and it's gonna last me all day. Typically, I apply my makeup at about 6:30 or 7 in the morning, and I wear it until about 8 or 8:30 at night. So I really need it to last, and I really need to trust that it's gonna stay there all day like I am intending it to. Putting a liquid and then setting it with powder really just will lock it in. Next thing I typically do is contour. So this is the contour palette I've been using lately. It's from IBY Beauty, but I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a mixture of these two to contour my cheeks. And I'm gonna use an angled brush. This is the, it's an angled brush and it's from Morphe. So I'm just gonna pick up a little bit of these two, tap off the extra, and then I kind of just set it where I want it. I am sorry, I don't know why this lighting is going crazy. Then I'm gonna take that same powder and just go right here in the temples, right into my hairline. And on the other side. So side note, okay, this looks crazy right now, but it's just because my face got red when I just did that, so don't worry, it won't look that crazy in a second. When I contour, I want to suck in my cheeks and kind of continue on where this line is. and that's where you want to lay your contour powder. And typically your contouring powder is going to be a cooler brown shade. Like between these two, you can tell this one's a little bit warmer of a brown and this one's a little bit cooler. Typically you want to pick a cool contour shade because it's going to look more naturally like a shadow rather than just a more of a bronze look. So that's just a little an easy tip to remember for contouring is you kind of want to make a 3 on your face. So you're going to hit here, you're going to come down and hit here, and then I also really like to contour my jaw. And you can do that on both sides. So I contoured here, I contoured my cheekbone, and then I'll contour my jaw as well as under my chin. Next thing is to do a little bit of bronzing. This is from Wet n Wild. You can pick this up at Walmart or Target. It's honestly like $2 or $3, super cheap. This is their contouring palette in Dulce de Leche. This is another highlighting powder that you can use underneath the eyes. And then this is the bronzer that I like to use. You can tell it's been loved. I've hit pan on it. And this is just a dual fiber brush. This is from Sonia Kashuk. It's the 115 brush. You can get this at Target. This is nice. A brush that has dual fibers like this is really nice to use because it really will blend out and distribute your makeup really evenly, which is awesome. So I'm gonna hit pretty much the same places with my bronzer as I did with my contour, just in a little bit of a bigger motion. And this powder I'm actually gonna take a little bit down my neck too, just to match everything. So next we're gonna move on to blush. It's from the brand Physicians Formula. It's called the Butter Blush, and this is in the shade Vintage Rose. It looks like this. It's just a nice neutral kind of peachy color. Just a little note with brushes. It's totally your preference what kind of tools you like to use to apply your makeup. And in fact, mine change all the time. Like right now I'm contouring with an angled brush, but sometimes I contour with more of a kabuki style brush, or sometimes I contour with more of a brush like this that kind of tapers at the top. So I kind of change that up a lot, and same with blush. Currently I'm just using an angled blush brush. So I'll just take a little bit of that, just pop that on kind of the apples of my cheeks and head back towards my contour. And yes, I like to smile when I'm putting blush on because I just feel like you can see where it needs to go then. I don't know. Okay, so last step for the face, which is my absolute favorite, is highlighting. I'm extra, so I'm actually gonna take 2 highlighters today. Doesn't matter if I'm wearing a little bit of makeup or a lot of makeup, I always highlight. I feel like it looks so beautiful, and it's become a necessity for me, and that's, yeah. So this is from Maybelline. This is their Master Chrome highlighter. Metallic highlighter. This is the rose gold shade. Currently, this is the brush I'm using, so I'll just swirl this in here and tap off some of the excess, and then you just want to hit the highest points of your cheekbones with this. And then I kind of like to do like a little C right here. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I just think that's so pretty. Then I'll do the same thing over here. Just hit kind of the high points. I'm so sorry about this lighting, you guys. It's like 4:55 in the afternoon, so the sun's kind of going down. I promise I will film in better lighting next time. And then I'll also just run this down the very center of my nose. I'm gonna add a little bit of this highlighter as well. This is also from Wet n Wild, which you can get at Walmart. I think these are like $3.99 or so. This is their Mega Glow highlighting powder, and this one is in Blossom Glow. And this is a really pretty, just champagne color. And it's so pretty. And I will just I'm not gonna swirl my brush like I did in my last highlighter. I'm gonna just take a little bit like this, tap it off a little bit, and hit the very high point. So when I'm talking about high points of the cheek, I'm talking like if the sun is hitting you, where is the sun gonna hit first? And that's right here. So that's where I'll add additional highlighter. Ooh, girl, I'm throwing off my white balance here. And so I'll just hit the very tops with a little bit extra, just because I'm feeling jazzy. Highlighting your Cupid's bow actually makes your top lip look a little bit bigger. Same thing with putting a darker powder underneath your lip. Like sometimes I'll run my contour or my bronzer powder right here. and it makes the bottom lip appear more pouty. So that's just a trick if you want your lips to look bigger. Okay, so after I'm completely done with my face makeup, I typically like to do my brows before my eyes. The brow product I've been using lately is this brow pencil. So this is just a double-ended pencil. It has the spoolie on one side and then the pencil on the other side. This is more of like a teardrop shaped pencil. It's kind of just personal preference what you want to use on your eyebrows. Some people prefer a very skinny brow pencil. Some people use more of like a pomade or a wax. I just prefer a thicker pencil. I'm gonna use a mirror just so that I can do this a little bit more close up, and I'll just speed it up as I go. But let me just really quickly run you through what I typically do for my brows. So first thing I will typically do is just brush them straight up. And I do this on both sides, but I'm just gonna show you on one, and then I'll kind of just run through these super fast. What I typically will just do is start with the bottom and kind of make the line that you want. And I do this really soft. I'm not putting a lot of pressure because if I mess up, I want it to be easy to wipe away. And if you have a super harsh line, that's not gonna be easy. So I'll typically just make my bottom line where I want it to be. And then I'll go do my tail of my brow. And this I do a little bit darker because I want the front of my brow to be a little bit lighter and then the tail to be darker. So then I'm gonna go to the top of my brow, and I'm not gonna start at the front. I'm gonna start about lined up with where my pupil is, and that's where I'm gonna start my top. Kind of just connect that with my tail. And then I'm just gonna fill this in a little bit. And then in the front of the brow, what I typically will do, and by the way, I know that this looks crazy right now, but that's what this beautiful spoolie is for. We'll brush this out and it'll totally smooth out. But what I'll kind of do in the front is I'll take the end of my brush and I'll kind of just make little hair-like strokes upward, because I don't want the very front to be super harsh, because then it just starts to look really boxy and unnatural. And then I will just go through and really brush through these. Okay, so brows are both on now, and I just want to touch on something really quick since my eyebrows did not turn out very even today. Your brows are sisters, not twins. So if they don't turn out looking identical, it's okay. They're not meant to be identical. A lot of times one of mine is higher than the other one. I mean, it is what it is, okay? Let's just move on. The first palette we're gonna go in with is from BH Cosmetics. People honestly think I'm insane. I'm sure they think I'm so crazy. But whatever. Anyways, don't let people dim your sparkle, okay? So first I'm gonna go in with a nice fluffy brush. This is the Morphe E23. So I'm just gonna tap into this and then just kind of tap off the extra so we don't have a bunch of extra powder flying around. Now this isn't gonna show up much, but it's really gonna help our other shadows blend if we have a shadow laid down in the crease already. I'm gonna go into this color. You wanna typically stick to the matte shades in your crease. And I'm just gonna start running this in my crease as well. And what I tend to do in my crease is just do kind of like a windshield wiper motion. And then once I have most of the color distributed, I'll start doing little circles, just so it really gets nice and blended and it doesn't look like we just right on our eye. You wanna make sure that you're getting all the way to the inner corner with this, as well as all the way to the outer corner. We wanna really take that in our entire crease. This one is similar to the one that we just used, but it's a little bit less poofy, if you will. And this one tapers a little bit at the end. If you can tell, it kind of comes to a little bit of a point. It's better to use for like outer corner or more precise blending. So now we're gonna go in with this one right next to it. And I'm just gonna kind of focus this on the outer corner. And what I typically like to do with darker colors is I pick up my product on my brush, tap it off because you don't want all that extra, and I'll kind of just place it where I want it on my eye first, kind of stamp it, and then I'll start to blend. And we'll just do the same thing to the other eye. If you have shadow falling down onto your under eye or onto your cheek, don't worry about that. Because we've already set our face with powder, it's really easy to just go in with a big powder brush and just sweep that extra powder away. So I'm gonna go in with another palette. This is the Naked Smoky palette. I actually just got this for Christmas from my godmother, and it's so pretty. Like, can we just talk about this for a second? So typically, if I'm gonna do a shimmery shade on my lid, I almost always will just use my finger, because shimmery shades, if they have a lot of glitter and sparkle and kind of shimmeriness in them, tend to just work a lot better with your finger. So that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna actually go in with this second shade in the palette, which is called Dirty Sweet. I'm just gonna take it on my ring finger. And I'm just gonna put it all over my entire lid. It's just a lot easier, and you get a lot better of that boom shimmer on your eye if you just use your finger. So, I mean, God gave you two hands, you might as well use them, right? So after I have that all over my lid, I'm just gonna go back with my very first fluffy brush and just blend in my crease. I'm not putting any additional product on this at all. I'm just taking this and blending a little bit just to make sure that that shimmer shade that we just laid down doesn't have any harsh lines. The sun is setting, so I need to hurry my booty up. Just take a flat definer brush like this and just go into the darker shade that we put in the outer corner. I'm gonna use this kind of like an eyeliner, but it's gonna be a lot more smoky because it's shadow. I'm just gonna kind of run this right along my bottom lash line. Now I'm gonna take kind of a smudger brush, if you will. It's kind of flat like this. I'm gonna take this crease color and just kind of smudge out that line so it doesn't look so harsh. My favorite mascara at the moment is this Maybelline The Colossal Big Shot. I'll start with my bottom mascara, just because if I do my top mascara and then I'm looking down like this to do my bottom, I don't want my mascara to transfer to all the hard work that we just did on our eyes. So I'm gonna speed through this because I'm gonna make a lot of weird faces and I'm not gonna be able to talk while I do this, so. Okay, so the very last thing that we have to do is lipstick. This is from Jeffree Star Cosmetics. And this is the shade Celebrity Skin. This is another product you can only get online, but I'm telling you, this is my favorite lipstick in the world. I actually need to order another one of these because I'm almost out. I use this probably 3 or 4 days a week. Very last thing I like to do is set my makeup. If I'm gonna have a long day, I like to just make sure it's stuck in place. This is another Wet n Wild. No, this video is not sponsored by Wet n Wild, but if they wanted to sponsor me, hit me up. This is the, that's not in English. This is the matte finish setting spray. We did put a lot of powder on. We put liquid foundation, then we put a setting powder, we put a contour powder, we put a bronzing powder, a blush powder, a highlight powder. So all those powders can sometimes kind of tend to look a little bit cakey on your face, especially as the day goes on. So I really like to spray a setting spray just to kind of melt it all into the face and just really make sure that it's gonna last all day as well. So yeah, you guys, I think that is about it. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below of another makeup look you maybe want to see or a different kind of video that you guys would like to see. I would love to hear your guys' feedback. Also, thank you guys so much for everyone who watched my first video. I woke up this morning, I posted the video yesterday morning, and I woke up this morning and it had 300 views. And that makes me so excited, you guys. And I had some of my coworkers talking to me about it today, and some people messaging me online on my social medias about starting my channel and how awesome they think it is. And I appreciate it so much, you guys. I honestly don't even have words for how excited I am about you guys liking it. It took me a lot to build up the courage to actually post my first video. So I'm really glad that you guys are giving me good feedback, and I seriously appreciate it so much. I think that's about it. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and hit me up on my other social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.